When President-elect Trump announced Robert F. Kennedy Jr. would be his pick to lead the Department of Health and Human Services, most Democrats said they were outraged because of his anti-vaccine crusade and conspiracy peddling. But a few had a different take. Democratic Colorado Governor Jared Polis quickly posted on X that he was excited and looked forward to partnering with him. The condemnation from fellow Democrats was swift, and the governor quickly clarified that he didn't mean his praise to suggest he agrees with Kennedy on vaccines. And there he is, Jared Polis, joining me now. Thank you so much for being here, sir. So since that initial statement in RFK Jr., you said that you and your family are vaccinated, and you will hold any HHS secretary to the same high standard of protecting and improving public health. And you hope RFK Jr. can separate his, quote, incorrect personal beliefs from the work he does on chronic disease. What makes you think he would do that?
Well, look, like any American, I respect whatever decisions he personally makes. I think he said he's partially vaccinated or received some, but not all the vaccines. But what I think, I'm always was raised in a way where I try to look at the glasses half full. Last time Donald Trump was president, he appointed a pharmaceutical lobbyist in charge of that agency, Alex Azar. We were able to make no progress on prescription drug affordability, on improving health, on reducing chronic disease. These are things that RFK says he wants to do as HHS director, save people money on prescription drugs. Colorado has an application to import prescription drugs from Canada sitting at the desk of HHS. I'm hopeful he'll approve it. So I think it's important during the confirmation process to, of course, make sure that this is somebody who won't make his personal utterings and sayings into official policy, but will pursue policies on behalf of the American people. So I try to remain optimistic where I can.
Well, I think your optimism is definitely to be applauded, but I want to go through, I know you know a lot of these things, but just for our audience, some of what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has said and done. So public health experts across the board say one of his most dangerous positions is falsely claiming that vaccines cause autism. It's not true. Rigorous peer-reviewed studies, including some that analyzed more than 1 million children, have shown there's no link between autism and vaccines. He's claimed there's evidence the 1918 influenza pandemic was vaccine-induced. That is not true. He suggests HIV is not the cause of AIDS. That is not true. He said COVID-19 was targeted to attack Caucasians and Black people, and that Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese people are most immune. That is also not true. I'm an Ashkenazi Jew, and I got COVID. I get that you believe, sir, that RFK Jr. does make important points on the negative impact of pesticides, terrible, processed foods, horrible, some of the ag policies in the United States, I totally get it. But can you just explain why that outweighs just some of what I listed about the misinformation that has real life consequences if he would be in charge of HHS?
To be clear, those things are completely false about vaccines causing autism. Vaccines have saved millions of lives. You can look at how a lot of diseases that were the scourge of prior generations are all but eliminated or eliminated today. And look, I supported Kamala Harris. I wish that we were talking about her appointments and how wonderful they were, including for Health and Human Services. But should it be any surprise that when we have a president-elect who himself says false utterances as well, again, if that was disqualified, we wouldn't have this president-elect. So we have to find a way to, of course, rebut those things and say these are the facts, but also look for opportunities where we can. And if there's an opportunity to reduce harmful pesticide use with negative consequences on the ecosystem and our health, if there's a way to save people money on prescription drugs, if there's a way to improve nutrition, reducing consumption of processed foods and increasing health, I think we've got to find a way to work with anybody in the incoming administration.
And just on vaccines, I mean, in your home state, because of some of the rhetoric that we've heard from RFK Jr. and people like him, you've seen a decrease in vaccinations in the 2023-24 school year. 92.1% of the students were vaccinated. Among kindergartners, it fell to 90.1%. It sounds like a lot, but it's certainly going down. Are you concerned about that?
You know, our goal and what the science advises is we want to keep it north of 90% to establish kind of herd immunity, reducing transmission. Parents who make what I consider to be an ill-informed decision, it is their decision not to vaccinate their child, are of course putting their child at greater risk. So again, I encourage everybody to look at the data. It's not something that people should do at the point of a gun. It's something people should do because it helps save the lives of those that they love the most.
I want to turn to the state of your party. There's a new poll from Pew that found Democrats are less optimistic about your party's future than they've been at any point in the past 8 years. So how do you and other elected Democrats fix that?
Well, some of that's natural because guess what? Democrats didn't win at the presidential election. Did we come close in the House? We did. Did we only lose a couple Senate seats? We did. But look, I think it's a journey of self-discovery. Democrats are always asking ourselves the questions, what can we do better? What can we do wrong? Of course, that's natural for this period. Of course, we need to get past that and show a proactive agenda to save people money, reduce costs, make life easier and better for every American family, increase social and economic mobility by making training and apprenticeships more available. You know, we need to lay out that vision, but I think it's totally understandable that for a period of weeks or months, we're really deeply introspective and trying to figure out what the heck happened.
What's sort of in a minute or less, the most important thing looking forward, going forward, that Democrats need to do to get that feeling about your party back up?
Look, I think we need to show that we're the party of everybody, right? It's not on class lines, it's not on race lines, it's not on gender lines. We represent your interest, the American people, to reduce costs, to save you money, to reduce the tax burden, to increase opportunity and jobs. There's going to be a lot to take on in the next administration. If they go with tariffs, that's going to increase costs by 20% on nearly every household item. We should go hard at that and also talk about expanding markets across the world for made in America products and produce. And if we have that positive forward-looking agenda, I know we're going to win back the hearts and minds of the American people.
Governor Jared Polis, it's always good to talk to you. Please come back soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.